Welcome to Houghton Stadium in San Bernardino, California. Little League Softball West Region play continues. It's day 5 as Olivehurst, California takes on Cave Creek, Arizona. What's at stake in day 5? A couple elimination games on tap. The season on the line for these two. The winner will advance to play Oregon tomorrow at 12 Eastern Time. Hi everybody, I'm Trey Bender alongside Sam Ravitch. Glad you're with us. It's been a lot of fun here at the ballpark. Championship game coming up Friday.
Yeah, it should be really exciting. A lot of softball left to play, and I think we don't really have a true winner in this one. A lot of open places.
Well, Northern California has put their stamp on this regional so far. They've done it with small ball, whether it's bunting people over, running the base pass. They also have had excellent pitching from Hallie Prather. She's been the meal ticket so far, a complete game shutout. She had 9 strikeouts in the victory against Nevada, a 3-run third inning in that win. And Arizona, they have been very impressive as well.
Yeah, with Kira Day, she's been great up at the shortstop position for them. Really commands that shortstop position as well, and she can also take the ball out of the park too. So it's really exciting to watch Kira Day and this Arizona club play.
First pitch right around the corner. It's Northern California and Arizona coming up next from Al Houghton Stadium in San Bernardino. Northern California 3-1, Arizona 2-1. We'll crown a champion on Friday on ESPN Plus. All of the games this week on ESPN Plus en route to the Little League Softball World Series as we take a look at the starting lineup for Northern California. Their leader in a lot of ways is in the leadoff spot, Morgan Hegstrom. Good with the bat and very important behind the dish, but Kendall Harris is their best athlete. She can do it all with her power and speed, batting cleanup. And facing an Arizona defense with Haley Rubidoux in the circle.
Yeah, Haley, 12 years of age. She's kind of traded off places in the circle along with her teammates, but Savannah Gaston. But Haley also can command the zone. She has that rise ball and the drop ball, can move it all over parts of the plate. So looking to get maybe a couple innings out of her and then maybe go to Savannah.
Let's look at the defense for Arizona. 2-1 coming off that loss last night to Oregon, 11-4.
Yeah, that was a tough one for Arizona, but they also had a bit of a late inning rally. They scored 3 runs in the 4th inning, so they have the ability to put up some big runs, but look for them to play some really solid defense too. We mentioned Kira Day in the open playing short, so she commands that infield real well.
Decked out in the whites. Cactus Foothills Little Leaguers from Cave Creek, Arizona. And you and I were talking about how they rallied to win that state title game. A lot of these teams getting that momentum heading into San Bernardino with their play in the state. Yeah,
the state tournament is such a big, it kind of defines your team. It gives you an identity too, and that's something that this manager, Brett Kundle, for this Arizona team said. Look, they had 400 spectators at that state championship game, and it really gave these girls confidence coming into a regional like this.
So Rubidoux and Morgan Hegstrom leading things off, and the first offering is bounced up there for ball 1. Jason Blacker calling balls and strikes behind the dish. Decked out in the pink shirt there. George Rodriguez, Gregory Wren, and Chris Blake from first base to third base. Dan and Shay, that's not a band that I have listened to a whole lot. Country, right?
Country. A little pop country, though. The true country fan may say that Dan and Shay is the pop country.
Yeah, that's no Waylon Jennings.
No, it's not Waylon Jennings.
There's the strike. 1-1. Sam and I have been covering the games throughout the week on ESPN Plus. It's good to have somebody to bounce a few things off of. I know you agree with me.
Finally, we can be together in a game. We're no Vince Scully's, we promise.
No. 1-1 pitch is popped up behind home plate, and the catcher giving a look there. Perusa. And it falls harmlessly to the grass.
Zoe Perusa behind home plate for this Arizona team has been another key contributor, not only at the plate, but her presence behind home plate. She doesn't call the game necessarily. You see her looking over to the dugout, and the pitches come from the dugout. Some of the coaches there, but Zoe really protects that plate well, doesn't let a lot get past her.
Bounced up there to Hegstrom. Hegstrom, the spark plug in that leadoff spot. You'd expect her to be a hard worker, also a catcher. Boy, do they put in a lot of time and a lot of hard work in the heat many times. Wearing that gear. Here's the 2-2 offering. Full count now. The wind's been pretty consistent this time of day, blowing from right field to left field. Temperatures up over the century mark. Payoff pitch, popped up. Second baseman Fitzmaurice is there, one down.
Yeah, that's another thing that the manager, Brett Kundle, said for this Arizona team. He said, look, we practice and play in this 100-degree heat for the past 2 months, so this is nothing new to us. Maybe a bit different for this team from Olivehurst, but Arizona certainly is familiar with this type of weather.
Felt for the kids from Sitka, Alaska,
yeah.
dealing with these conditions early on in this regional. Here's Haley Prather, who is a key cog pitching, and she's been pretty consistent hitting that number 2 spot in the order this season. Looks at strike 1. The backbone to the club. It's fouled off, and this Cave Creek team has gone through a lot of adversity. You've touched on it before after a dad passed away.
Yeah, for Bailey Fitzmaurice, and you know, they've tried to kind of play with you know, all of that and bottle it up and really take it out on the field and play together for everybody. And it was exciting to see and getting to talk to them just how much it meant to everybody to play for one cause, and they carry a lot with them, this team.
And there's a little blooper. We have seen that. I've seen it at least a half dozen times in this regional. Little blooper over the pitcher's head, landing in no man's land. No play can be made, and that's an infield single for Prather. Didn't hit it hard. Rubidoux got what she wanted there, but it's a base runner instead, and that brings up Alexa Carino. Fastball can't catch up with it upstairs.
That's one thing that Haley Rubidoux will do. She'll use that rise ball to get it upstairs and change the eye level up of some of these batters. And you know, 12, 13 years of age, that bat suddenly feels a bit heavier later in the count, and you can't catch up to it.
0-1 swung on, a bouncer to short. Day only played first, can't make the throw. And the slow roller, by the time it got to Day, there's another infield single back-to-back here.
Another look at this here. You see Day charging, does everything right, just checks up on the grass, and there's really nothing you can do.
And you'll notice the infield grass here. A lot of times in softball, it'll be a dirt infield, and that has slowed down a lot of these balls, and some plays just can't be made. Here's Kendall Harris now with a golden opportunity here at the outset. Swing and a miss. She's the epitome of the 5-tool player. Great power and speed. Had a triple in this regional against Alaska. Almost had an inside the park home run, was thrown out at the plate. Showing bunt there, and she's able to lay that bunt down as well and beat it out. Couple well-coached teams here. They've really stressed the fundamentals, and there's a bunt by Harris and a great play by Rubidoux. Coming out of the circle, throw to first, they double up the runner. Rubidoux turns 2 and gets out of the jam.
Job well done there by Haley Rubidoux to be able to not only make the pitch, but also extend. Another look here, lays out and then throws to first. Heads up play by Haley Rubidoux.
The season on the line for Northern California and Arizona here at the Little League Softball West Region at Houghton Stadium in San Bernardino. And it'll be the first opportunity for Arizona. 2-1 coming off a loss to Oregon. They look good in their first 2 games of this regional. And you mentioned Kira Day, very important in that 3rd spot in the order.
Yeah, Kira Day can get this lineup going, but also at the top, Savannah Gatson and Haley Rubidoux have traded off places in the circle and over at third base, but they really have some speed at the top of the order. And what I've been impressed with most about this Arizona team is their ability to just stay in games and hang around and cause some problems for defenses.
And they're going to be facing Haley Prather, one of the veterans for this Olivehurst, California team. She's gone the distance a couple times. 10-1 win against Alaska. They're coming off a 5-0 win over Nevada. Really good up the middle, but Harris covers a ton of ground and has a strong arm in center field. Keep an eye on number 34 out there. Gaston to lead things off, and it's a fastball for strike one. Fly ball hit to shallow center. Harris comes on, one away.
And the other thing to keep in mind for this Arizona team too is they were here playing on this field more than 24 hours ago. I mean, they played a game at 7 o'clock local time last night, lost to Oregon. That went to 9:30, and then you got to have a real quick turnaround and get your mindset because you're playing in a double elimination game. Now you're playing for your life here.
Haley Rubidoux, the opposing pitcher, gets her first look at Hallie Prather. Cave Creek team that is a superstitious group. Here's a bouncing ball off the glove, a liner off the glove of Prather and into left field, and that's an infield single for Rubidoux.
Hallie Prather has been really good this entire regional. And one thing she does, she may not whip it by you at 65 miles an hour, but she has the ability to, and being able to change up the velocities there, use the change and cut across the plate as well, able to change and be a deceptive pitcher in the circle.
And Kira Day drives that one to left, and that's going to run to the fence, and she's thinking about an inside the park home run. Rubidoux scores. She's going to hold up at third as they get it back in. An RBI triple for Day. And Arizona's on the board first.
Yeah, that wind blowing out there, and that might have been the closest ball to get out of the park in this entire regional from Kira Day. Another look at this, and the swing is so pure, but wind may be helping a bit. This one landed almost on the track from Kira Day. And she's been doing it all regional long, too.
It's probably the hardest hit ball I have seen here in San Bernardino as well. As good speed for Rubidoux. And Arizona produces the first run. Here's Bailey Fitzmaurice, the second baseman. Fouls off the first one. I was about to mention the superstitions of Arizona. They've got a giant bag of Sour Patch Kids they munch on in the dugout. In 100-plus degree heat here.
That'll give you a sugar rush.
Whatever works. Here's a liner into the glove of the second baseman, Gillespie, and they double up the runner off the bag Day. We've seen a couple twin killings here in the first inning. 2 double plays. Gillespie to Kelly to turn this one.
Incredibly impressive to see all these double plays being turned. Great defense in the first inning.
Northern California trailing Arizona 1-0 as we move to the second inning here. A couple double plays turned by each defense. Gillespie across to Kelly to get the double play right there.
Yeah, Kira Day kind of caught in no man's land there and tried to dive back, but yeah, some heads-up defense played, and that's what tends to win some of these regionals. You play real good defense and great pitching and make the routine plays, and you find yourself in a championship game.
Riley Gillespie leading things off, has had a good regional. Both of these clubs do the little things well. Northern California, that's been their credo all season long. Small ball. Be sound defensively, ride the arm of Prather, and when it's called on, they're able to move runners and bunt the baseball and use their speed. Olivehurst, California, just north of Sacramento. This team's from areas where there's great baseball and softball played in those regions. Gillespie takes a strike, 3-1.
A lot of these Northern California players are fans of the Giants. They're just 30 minutes north or so of the AAA team, the Sacramento River Cats in Sacramento, and some of them growing up going to see some baseball there.
You didn't mention the Oakland Athletics.
Oh, well, those guys too.
Just want to make sure that if there are any A's fans out there, they're wearing the colors of the
They
Oakland
certainly
A's.
are, yeah.
Rubidoux with the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got her with a high fastball. First strikeout. A rise ball, and it's been effective for her.
Number 7, Alana Kelly.
Here's Alana Kelly. Up the middle, shortstop Day. Made that look easy. Pretty fluid out there with the tall frame at short, 2 away.
Coming up for Northern California. First baseman,
She just looks like a natural athlete.
Yeah, that's what she does well. She makes the routine plays, and you know, they may not have captains on these little league teams, but you know, she certainly exudes the energy of a captain and makes the routine plays just like that. Strong throw across the diamond, accurate.
Now Mia Rodriguez with the corners in, and we have seen that pretty consistently through the West region. She is a threat to bunt, batting in the 7th spot in the order. Rodriguez will platoon with Mia Cheever, another Mia at that first base position. They'll split time there. And it's mandatory play in Little League softball. You have 13 or more players, you must bat at least once. 12 or fewer, a minimum of 6 consecutive defensive outs, and bat once. And we've seen most of the substitutions in the 4th inning. The games I've seen, at least, back to back to back, pinch hitters usually.
Yeah, most have been the 4th inning. Sometimes you'll see a team get out to an early lead, and you get some of these substitutions in a bit earlier but yeah, mostly in the 4th inning you start to see some changes out there.
Two and two to number 22, Mia Rodriguez. Each team with 2 hits in this one. Popped up, foul ground. Catcher with the mask off, called off by the 3rd baseman, Gaston, and that'll end the inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Rubidoux. A 1-0 lead for Arizona through an inning and a half at Houghton Stadium. Back in San Bernardino, the championship game Friday on ESPN Plus, and the winner from this West region will head to the Little League Softball World Series at Alpenrose Field in Portland, Oregon. Catch all the excitement from all of the 7 Little League World Series tournaments, including visitor information, scores, stats, video highlights, and more. Visit littleleague.org. Alyssa Wilson leading things off against Hallie Prather. This Arizona team has gone through some adversity. You mentioned the loss of Chris Fitzmaurice, who was a big inspiration to this team, but the manager, Brett Kundle, has dealt with some adversity this year as well. He's gone to the ER 3 times during the state tournament. He took a shot off the leg while standing in the 3rd base coach's box where he is right now. That was one of the times, and then tore a calf muscle celebrating the state title. It's tough out there.
If you're gonna go to the ER, it might as well be for celebrating, right? I mean, that's
enjoy it a little bit. Wilson, tapper right back to the circle. Prather, 1 down. Coach Kundle saying that when he first moved to Arizona, there were just 28 girls playing softball in their league, and now it's up to 170. It's tremendous.
Yeah, the game's growing. There's no doubt about it, and you see it with you know, at the college level and the high school level, and of course here at Little League, more teams are growing, popping up across the country, and there's more district and teams in the state tournament too.
Zoe Ferruzza, the catcher. Z-Money. Change up a beauty. That's where Prather's been good. Pulling the string on that one. And you mentioned not overpowering, but she mixes her pitches well, understands count and when to throw a pitch. That's a liner, and it's past the glove of Rodriguez and into right field. Ferruzza will beat out the throw from the right fielder Hernandez, and she's on.
Hey, let's go. Time. SBR, number 10 for 77.
We've seen a couple of these now. You hit the ball real hard to right field, and you see Tiana Hernandez come up throwing. You still don't have a single yet. You got to hustle down that line, make sure you complete that single.
And we're going to have our first pinch hitter here. Casey Koskovich will get an opportunity. And a pinch runner as well.
10 for 77 SPR.
Actually, it's going to be Koskovich pinch running. She won't be pinch hitting, but she will run for Ferruzza. Normally see the pinch hitters in the 4th inning. You can use a special pinch runner a couple times. Here's Chloe Jackson.
Yeah, look for Casey Koskovich to take advantage if a pitch ends up getting in the dirt. She's got a lot of speed over there at first.
Boy, being able to run the base is so important at this West region. Challenging those catchers. Jackson fouls that back. And Hagstrom's been pretty good behind the dish for Northern California. Change up, strike called, catches the corner.
Yeah, that is her money pitch, huh? I mean, she can really locate that changeup, and that's tough. You know, at this age, you start to learn different kinds of pitches, and being able to have a rise ball and a changeup and being able to locate is crucial.
Michelle Smith, who you'll hear games on ESPN, always talks about the river, finding the river as a pitcher. With the change of pace, with the fastball has been a good combination for Prather. That's popped up. Prather calling for it, a collision. She hangs on. Colliding with Rodriguez, and she had the wherewithal to grab it and hang on to it. 2 down.
It's tough because you see these pop-ups that aren't very high, and it leaves you for a little room to communicate there. And, you know, lucky everyone's all right, but not a lot of time to say, I got it, I got it.
Now Katie Woosley, you can't be loud enough, can you? Being a communicator out there?
You can't be, no. You gotta, you really gotta exclaim your presence, and
even if you need to be mean about it sometimes.
Yeah.
There's a grounder to Gillespie, and she throws out Woosley to end the inning. Good pitching so far. Just 1 run across. Arizona has out-hit Northern California 3-2 in this one. 1-0 game. 3rd inning coming up. Hernandez to lead it off. Little League Softball West Region play continues. Our championship winner will be crowned on Friday and will punch their ticket to the Little League Softball World Series in Portland. Coming up, here's a look at the schedule tonight. Southern California, Washington. That's a rematch of a game won by Washington.
yeah, Washington won that opener 3-1, but Southern California, I mean, they have the offense that can really explode. They won 19-0 over Wyoming, then 7-2 over Utah to get to this game.
And Oregon and Hawaii waiting in the wings tomorrow. 2 very good teams, especially the pitching from Hawaii. Sniffin's been fantastic.
Yeah, Jenilyn Sniffen has been carrying that team. Now they do have a lot of offense, and they like to run the base paths as well, but that's going to be a really exciting game, and Hawaii has kind of cruised their way into the semifinal.
Tiana Hernandez, favorite food burgers, can't argue with that choice. Leading things off, the number 8 hitter for Northern California here as we venture into the 3rd inning. Check swing. Fouls that one off. Hernandez has played the outfield positions here in San Bernardino, right field and left field. 1-1 is drilled driven to left, over the head of Wilson. That one's going to run to the track. She's on her horse on her way to second. Wants 3. Here's the relay, and in there with a triple.
We've seen a couple of really well-driven balls out to left field today, one by Kira Day and then one by Tiana Hernandez there. And taking a look at this, the level swing is exactly what we want to teach. That's about as good as you can get it. Line drives is what you preach as a Little League coach, a Little League manager, and that was a line drive that just kept carrying out to left.
It's the bottom of the order doing the job here. Here's Briley McKinney now, who's good at laying the bunt down in the 9th spot in the order, not in this spot. Unless she wants to bunt her way on. She's going to swing it, foul back the first offering. Northern California can beat you in different ways, and showing a little bit of power here. A couple singles and a triple. One and one. 10-1 win over Alaska. They lost to Oregon 4-1. Beat Montana 6-2, and then blanked Nevada 5-0. A good Nevada team from the Summerlin South Little League in Las Vegas. McKinney squares. Did not offer on it, 2-1.
That's one of the things I really like about this Northern California team is it's not one player. I mean, you can get some big hits from Kendall Harris and Morgan Hegstrom at top, but there you see a triple from Tiana Hernandez, and they can get some production from the bottom of that order and even some of the substitutes that you'll see come off the bench.
Crashing into the corners after that pitch as McKinney takes a strike. Bunt probably off now at 2-2. Yeah, Southern California, you can say the same thing. Top to bottom, they get a lot of production, 1 through 9 in their order. Strike 3 called. On the outside edge, a strikeout for Rubadu, her first of the game. 1 out and 1 on. That's her second of the game, actually. Struck out Gillespie in the second inning. Now it's the top of the order. Morgan Hegstrom, one of the hardest workers on this team, with an opportunity. Try to square this one up. Not often you see a catcher in the leadoff spot in the order, baseball or softball. And she laces it into center field for a base hit. Hernandez scores. That one will run past the center fielder Zane. Hegstrom on her way to third. And in there safely, standing up.
Yeah, what did we just say about Tiana Hernandez and her swing? And then you see Morgan Hegstrom head down, line drive to left center field. And that one scoots all the way past Courtney Zane. Didn't really have a chance to get to it, but some really good fundamental hitting for this Northern California team and helped them tie it up here in the third.
Couple triples against Haley Rubadu, and we're all even. Both of these teams have shown the ability to come from behind. We mentioned Arizona in the state title having to erase a deficit in the 8th inning. Northern California had a couple of those games in their state tournament run as well. And now a chance to grab the lead here. Hallie Prather, chance to help her cause. She singled first time up.
This is one of those situations where you just want to put something on the ground in play because you got speed in your leadoff batter at first base in Morgan Hegstrom. So keep it on the ground. If you're going to hit it in the air, make sure it gets to the outfield.
Lays the bunt down. Rubadu down to first for the out. They come up with the throw, and it's not in time. And that has happened half a dozen times in this tournament. They welcome that throw to first, and the runner at third, as long as that runner is aware, will break home. And more often than not, you're going to pick up a run there, and they have the lead.
Yeah, they make the sure play, and they almost are able to get Morgan Hegstrom. That was a really good slide to avoid the tag from Zoe Ferruza.
Hegstrom makes it a 2-1 game, and here's Alexa Carino. And there's a case of being able to handle the bat in a situation with a runner at third. They've done it consistently well through this regional. They really bunt the ball well, and that's coaching. Kids have really responded to it. Carino reached on an infield single her first time up. The powerhouse player of this Olivehurst Little League team. Coaches say thunder in the bat, cannon for an arm. That's a pretty good combination. Stays away from that one. Northern California is now out, hit Arizona 4-3 in this game. Fastball misses, ball 4. Carino is aboard, and that's the first walk given up by Rubidoux.
Yeah, that's not a bad walk. The location was pretty good for most of those pitches. Didn't want to give her anything too close once she got behind, but now you got to deal with Kendall Harris.
No easy proposition. She popped up the last time up, but has shown the ability to drive the ball. She's also a threat to lay one down if they're playing back, and right now they're not playing up at the corners off that infield grass. She's going to swing away at the first one. Harris came oh so close to getting in inside the park home run in this tournament. He's thrown out at the plate. Swings and misses. Throw down to second, not in time, and there's a stolen base. Carino swipes the bag.
That was a really good pitch too there by Haley Rubidoux to keep it low and in and use that drop ball to a dangerous hitter in Kendall Harris and just try to keep it in on the hands.
Two-strike pitch, strike 3 call. Fooled her, and getting out of the inning is Rubidoux. Couple runs across though, 2 triples, 1 stranded. We're through 2.5. 2-1, the kids from Olivehurst in front. 2-1 lead for Northern California over the kids from Cactus Foothills Little League. Arizona 2-1, Northern California 3-1. It's a 2-1 lead for Northern California, and there's our new right fielder, Ashlyn Wheeler, coming in for Hernandez in that spot in the field. Ferris now playing left field. And Cheevers at first base for Rodriguez as they make 3 switches defensively, and here's a bunt from Courtney Zane, and she fouls it off. We'll see these players bat most likely in the, seen it primarily in the 4th inning, could be in the 3rd inning as Zane looks at a strike. Zane, a big fan of Arizona Wildcats softball. Scottsdale kid, fan of a team from down in Tucson. She opted not to go the Arizona State route. There's a little looper into Cheevers' glove near first base, one down. Had a hard hit ball, and it was custom made for Cheever. It's great to see these kids have role models, a lot of them softball role models, players like Rachel Garcia at UCLA, Jenny Finch at Arizona. They watch a lot of softball. It's a sport that's growing in popularity.
And a sport that's also getting more TV time thanks to our network here and other networks across the country. But you're seeing a lot more attention paid to softball, and rightfully so. It's an exciting sport to watch, and these young girls have really big role models that they look up to. And of course, you see the Pac-12 and the predominant kind of softball entity at UCLA, and again, it's on those college girls to have that example, and then come back to some of these little league and where they came from and show how to how to do the ropes and run some summer camps and stuff, so it's exciting to see the game grow.
Yeah, it's cool to see it at the grassroots level and the popularity of the sport at all levels now, as Gaston's retired on that pop-up to the first baseman, Cheever. 2 quick outs for Prather.
That is the pitcher, number 4, Haley Rudiger. Number 1.
And a pinch hitter. Sophia Pulcini is going to get an opportunity hitting in Rubidu's spot in the order. So they have to go the pinch hitting route here in the 3rd inning. Trailing 2-1. Mandatory play. There's a strike, and players cannot turn 13 before January 1st, 2019. Must have reached their 10th birthday on or before December 31st, 2018. That's a new rule this year.
Yeah, it is, and it's a rule to, not only further the game and make it more available to players of all ages, but also keep that core group together that come up through the minors and then into the majors in their regular season. So, you'll see 13-year-olds on teams, but you have to turn 13 after that January 1st date. Not too many 10-year-olds in this tournament, but you're seeing teams with a lot of experience too that have been here before and come back and play on this same field again.
2-2 now. It's cool to see some of these kids that have been playing ball together since the T-ball days. I mean, I was actually a T-ball coach for my daughter. I don't know if I was any good at it, but that's going back. It's going back a few years for a 10, 11, 12, or 13-year-old back to T-ball. And there's a swing and a miss, and Prather gets the strikeout of Pulcini to end the inning. 1-2-3 goes Arizona. Still a 1-run game. 4th inning on tap from San Bernardino. To catch the excitement of the Little League World Series softball tournaments or to find a Little League softball program in your neighborhood, visit littleleaguesoftball.org. We go to the 4th. Riley Gillespie to lead things off against Haley Rubidoux. Well-played game so far.
Yeah, it really has been. It's been a well-pitched game and a well-defended game. A couple of double plays turned early on and a couple of big hits too. We're used to seeing from this Northern California team, especially the singles and moving runners over and stealing some bases, but scoring a run on a triple there from Morgan Hegstrom and another triple from Tiana Hernandez. So using the extra base hits today to get some runs.
Gillespie fanned her first time up in the 2nd. She looks at a pitch outside for ball 1. Sun starting to break through the clouds here, warming things up a little bit more at the ballpark. Windy conditions as well here in the first of 2 elimination games today. It's inside. Fastball, that catches the corner. See the pitches there. The pitch count in softball, obviously, compared to baseball, it's a different animal, but it's more the time put out there from the mental standpoint, the physical standpoint. Rubidoux and a lot of these ace pitchers have pitched consecutive days, or they're on their 3rd game. And there's ball 4. Gillespie's on.
Yeah, Savannah Gaston for Arizona threw over 100 pitches last night in the loss to Oregon, so she's playing 3rd base, and rightfully so. But yeah, going back to the baseball softball comparison, you have that 70 pitch count limit in baseball, and you pitch more than 7 innings in softball, you need a full day's rest. But it's a more replicable and safe kind of arm angle coming down underneath.
Alana Kelly now, she drives it into the gap in left center field. Gillespie makes the turn on her way to 3rd. Into 2nd with the double is Kelly, the extra base hit. A big story for Northern California. They have 3 of them now.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the swings that Northern California has put together. And look, these extra base hits aren't coming from one player again. Multiple players with extra base hits today, and now you got second and third, nobody out, and you're looking to tack on a couple more.
And it's a golden opportunity for Mia Cheever, her first plate appearance. She came in for Rodriguez at first base. And now we'll have a conference in the circle.
Quick water.
Seen water breaks the last couple days with the temperatures soaring here over 100. All volunteers here at the ballpark, the umpires included. Done a great job in sometimes stifling conditions. Got the sunbrellas out there. That's not for the rain.
No, that's just to get some shade, to buy some shade for you.
And it's a different vibe, first game of the day and last game of the day. Cooler conditions, but these middle games, especially the 4 o'clock local time start, and make sure you get those water breaks and hydrate. Cheever with a couple runners aboard, trying to add to this Northern California lead. Fouled off towards the dugout first base side. Jackson giving a look over there.
Here's another one of those scenarios. You don't want to try and do too much at the plate if you're Mia Cheever. Just want to get something in play and force the defense's hand to make a play.
Lays the bunt down. It's a beauty. She kills it right in front of the plate. Throw down to first. It bounces off the glove of Jackson. Gillespie scores, and now runners on the corners.
I think that ball may have hit the back of Mia Cheever there. That doesn't feel good running down the base paths. Another look at it there, right in the lower back. But here's another play. You see, trickling down the line there is Riley Gillespie, and for Haley Rubidoux to try and make that play, it's a tough play. You may be better suited off to hold on to that one.
Left fielder, number 54,
3-1 game now. And here's Richie Ferris. Second pitch hitter used by Northern California. Takes a strike. There's a throw down to second. No steal on, and we've seen the double steal where you, after the pitch, where you get the runner moving over there, try to draw some attention, and then that runner comes in from third base. And now Dan Martin talking with Jason Blacker. Three-1 game. Arizona getting their run in the first. 2 for Northern California in the third, and 1 more here in the fourth. And we talked about mandatory play, contingent on the number of players you have. And in the fourth inning is where we normally see the pinch hitters arrive. And the big thing at the bottom there, Sam, if you fail to do it, immediate ejection without replacement for the remainder of the tournament.
Yeah, and you and I were both in those coaches meetings before this regional started, and there was a huge emphasis put on this mandatory play rule, and it's not really new, but it's certainly more emphasized at this regional and this year for Little League across the board to ensure that every player gets a chance to play, because that, at the end of the day, is what this is all about. It hasn't been just one player that has gotten these teams here. It's been the entire team, and that is just one of the many reasons why every player deserves to play, and rightfully so gets to play.
And you'll see a lot of times where these pinch hitters can really make an impact, spark the club. You got to be ready when called on. Dan Martin, Matt Cheever, Justin Prather, the coaching staff for Northern California from Olivehurst Linda Little League. And he's been impressed with how they have responded to coaching, to doing whatever they're asked to do. They've got an opportunity to produce a big inning here. Runners on the corners, and Richie Ferris at the plate. Showing bunt, fouls it back. Not afraid to lay it down in any situation.
Certainly not.
And it's not just about the hitter in this situation. When the hitter, they're counting on you to put the bunt down, you've got to have your head on a swivel as a runner, know the situation. They've been well schooled. Here's the 0-2. That's upstairs. Pinch runner at first base. It's Tiana Hernandez. Running for Cheever now, gives him a little bit more speed out there. And Ferris chasing a high one there, out of the zone, and she strikes out. 4 Ks now for Rubidou.
Now batting for Olivehurst Linda, right fielder, number 2, Ashlyn Wheeler.
And here's Ashlyn Wheeler with her first plate appearance, hitting in the 9th spot in the order. Wheeler came in right field. Squaring, takes the pitch outside, no throw down to second. Hernandez steals the base. That gets you out of the force situation, and now a single could score a couple.
A delayed steal there too, just to wait and see if Zoe Ferruz was going to come up throwing and maybe draw a throw.
2-0 to Wheeler as it throw down to third, and Kelly's back in there standing up. Wheeler's been an important piece for Northern California, not just batting and playing the outfield. She has been a relief pitcher as well, and has been effective coming in for Prather when she's called on. Five hits for the Olivehurst Linda Little Leaguers, and now time call. And that's Gregory Wren, the second base umpire. And the girls will use this opportunity to gather in the circle. Quick chat. Sometimes you just need that little clarification, whatever it may be.
The question was about an illegal pitch.
Yep. 3-0 to Wheeler. There's a strike, 3-1.
This is a big out here too. You don't want to, if you're Arizona, let Northern California get any more runs across it and create a big inning for you. You have the ability to put runs on the board, but keep in mind a 6-inning game, and the outs come pretty quick.
Lays the bunt down. Only plays at first. Wheeler stumbling, and Rubidou throws out Wheeler for the second out. Staying put at third base, Kelly. She thought about it. Good job by the pitcher just to look her off over there.
That's tough, yeah. Just blew a tire there trying to run to first and bring that other run in, but the bunt laid down was a good one.
Now one of their stars, top of the order, Morgan Hagstrom. Already has that RBI triple last time up. She ripped it to center. Chases a high one there. Popped up her first time up. 1-1. Rubidou trying to keep this a 2-run game in a jam here. Popped up, shortstop, Day going out, center fielder coming in, and flagging it down is Zane to end the inning.
That run doesn't score.
1 run across, 2 runners stranded. Bottom of the 4th coming up. Day, Fitzmaurice, and Wilson coming up next. The season on the line for Northern California and Arizona in this double elimination format. A lot of drama here in San Bernardino. Both teams state championship teams, great seasons. The winner will advance to play Oregon tomorrow at 12 Eastern time. A team from Oregon that has been pretty impressive so far. Avery Krigbaum, pretty good center fielder for that club.
Yeah, they've had another one of those teams that just kind of top to bottom has been getting it done all over the place. And you know, they won't overpower you pitching necessarily, but a meeting with Oregon is a tough one. They almost quietly kind of cruised into the semifinal too. They're not a Hawaii team that'll pitch you, out of a game, but they'll just keep at it and stay in games and be kind of pesky on the base paths.
Yeah, veteran club return trip for that Oregon group in San Bernardino a year ago. 3-1 lead for Northern California. Hallie Prather, 2-run lead to work with, and Kira Day leading things off. She tripled. Great at-bat last time up.
Kira Day, we talked about it at the top of our show, and one of the leaders on this team and can really put a charge into a ball if she gets one that she likes, but she's really patient at the plate too, which is good. It's certainly a bright future for Kira Day if she chooses to continue playing softball at the next level.
You've had a lot of girls where that is their goal, to be a big-time softball player in college or at the level following that, and there's a ground ball out. The shortstop Carino puts that one on the money.
Now batting for Cactus Woodhill, second baseman, number 45,
Haley Fitzmaurice, who lined into a double play to end the first inning. And obviously a lot of heartache for her after her father, Chris, died in a tragic accident. They named the home field Fitz Field after Chris Fitzmaurice. Kid has shown a lot of character, playing for a state championship team, playing here in the West region. Lines it right at the second baseman, Gillespie. The second time she's hit it right at her.
Unlucky, huh? I mean, Bailey's hit the ball hard both times she's been at the plate, and Gillespie's getting that infield practice over there at second.
coming up for Arizona, left fielder, number 10, Casey Hospital.
You'd rather it be hit them where they ain't, even if it was ugly. It doesn't look good in the score sheet, the L4, but a good at-bat there nonetheless. Alyssa Wilson now, who bounced back to the pitcher her first time up. Wilson, the game-winning hit in their state championship. Hits a grounder to third. Kelly has it, sets, throws on the money, and a 1-2-3 inning. Quick work done by Hallie Prather, and it remains a 2-run game. We're through 4 at Houghton Stadium. An elimination game here at Al Houghton Stadium. Little League Softball West Region play. The winner will be crowned on Friday at the championship game, and we'll head to Portland, Oregon, side of the Little League Softball World Series. Well-played game here. Northern California has out-hit Arizona 5-3, and Hallie Prather a chance to help her cause here. She'll lead things off against Haley Rubidou. Three extra base hits for Northern California. Prather has a single. It's a bouncer, backhanded by the second baseman, Fitzmaurice to throw, not in time. Good play by Fitzmaurice, but the speed down the line for Prather just beats it out.
That was an awfully good play in the range there by Bailey Fitzmaurice to go up the middle, backhand that one, turn across her body and throw to first. That's about as good and as quick as you could get rid of that one.
Yeah, what else can you do there? And now we're gonna have a switch here.
If anything, we're gonna have a review, but
yeah, we are gonna review as the home plate umpire Jason Blacker is gonna go back behind the dish. We'll challenge this play at first base. Tie goes to the runner, right? Call was safe. Prather with those long strides down the line. And do they have enough to overturn this?
Here's another look at it here. I mean, the play was fantastic up the middle for Bailey Fitzmaurice, and the stretch was good over at first by Chloe Jackson.
George Rodriguez is right on it. He has as good a view as anybody. Those eagle eyes down that first base line. And if that stands, that would be Prather's second single. Both of these teams relying on speed and fundamentals. Does speed beat out this play? Very close.
That's tough, you know, because you need clear and conclusive evidence to overturn a call in the field, and managers, of course, getting two unsuccessful challenges.
Taking a long look. They're really deliberating over this one. Main thing is to get it right.
And you're waiting.
It's hard to tell what is right. I mean,
you're waiting for it to get in the back of the glove.
Is the front of her shoe on? She hits with the heel there, it looks like.
It looks like it. Oh, that's about as close as you can get.
But the call on the field was safe. So if they had any doubt, they go back to that. And this is the longest review that I've seen here in San Bernardino. There have been some close calls. Ball's out of the glove there, right?
Yep, in right there. And you're just wondering if this heel right here is just getting the base when that ball is in the back of the glove.
Here's the call, and they overturn it. It's a big out.
Huge.
The leadoff hitter off the bases, one down.
Yeah, you got to go back to the play for Bailey Fitzmaurice there. I mean, the call was over at first base, but the second baseman really made that play happen.
Now Alex Carino, who has reached a couple times with an infield single and a walk. Inside ball one. Likeable kid. Has batted third in the lineup in front of Harris throughout this West region. Couple power hitters at the 3 and 4 spots. Northern California has out-hit Arizona 5-3. That one is driven foul down the left field line. Talk about hard-hit balls. Carino jumped all over that one. Savannah Gaston in the circle. And Robideau's at third base. Robideau giving way to Gaston here as they switch positions.
It was a good job by Haley Robideau too, today, and handing the ball off for Savannah. Just minimizing the damage. Got a lot of help from her defense too, and Savannah will look for maybe a couple more strikeouts. She has a bit more velocity.
(3-2) lifted in the air to center. Zane backing up a few strides and has it. 2 down.
Coming up to our first agenda, Little League, center fielder number 34, Kendall Harris.
And Kendall Harris, never easy to face, but if you're going to face her, you'd like to do it with the bases clear. She's 0 for 2. See if Gaston can have success against number 34. There's a strike. Arizona won their first 2 games at this West region, beating Montana and Nevada, coming off a loss to Oregon as Harris shows bunt, pulls the bat back, and takes a pitch outside. Fouls that one up. Savannah Gaston in relief of Robideau. She goes 4 innings, allowing 3 runs on 5 hits. That's fouled back.
And again, we mentioned earlier, Savannah pitched over 100 pitches last night in the loss to Oregon, so she's looking for some help behind her defensively and trying to get some outs there.
The 1-2 is inside to Harris. Winner will play Oregon tomorrow. That'll be our first game at 9 local time, 12 Eastern on ESPN+. Following this one, it's Southern California squaring off against Washington in another elimination game. 2 really good clubs in our nightcap tonight. Ohio, last year's Little League softball champs, will the West region win the championship this year as Harris strikes out and that ends the inning. So a close play at first base and it ends up being a 1-2-3 inning.
There's another look at this, the ground ball, the play was fantastic. A web gem play by Bailey Fitzmaurice and the call overturned for an out. Arizona looking for some runs.
Here's our schedule the rest of the way on ESPN Plus, all the way through the championship game on Friday. Up next at Southern California and Washington. Sam, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who do you see in the championship game?
I really like the way that Hawaii's been playing. You know, they kind of have cruised their way to the semifinal game, and I think that Southern California-Hawaii game could be a possibility, and that could be a really offensively charged game. On the other side of the bracket, you know, Oregon obviously hasn't really been tested much. But Northern California, this team in the lead right now, they could certainly make a charge. They have to win a couple more games to get to that championship game, and they will have played, you know, more games than anyone in the tournament to get there, but I think they have the pitching and the offense to do it.
Pitching and defense wins championships, right? It's the old adage. Or maybe pitching in the 3-run homer.
Yeah, right. That'll work. That works too.
Maddie Ryan pinch hitting for Arizona. And she falls behind in the count 1-2, facing Hallie Prather. Prather has been a workhorse for Northern California. Trying to go the distance here, keep her team's season alive. She's allowed just 3 hits. 2 of them back in that first inning. Fastball just off the plate, 2-2.
Yeah, Arizona really looked like they were about to put Northern California on the heels there in the first inning with a single and then the triple from Kira Day to bring her in, but the double play kind of quelled the momentum there to end that inning.
We saw a couple double plays. We've seen 2 triples in this one. Good pitching from a couple right-handers. 3-2 is low, and Ryan draws the leadoff walk in her pinch hitting appearance. First of the game given up by Hallie Prather. And here comes another pinch hitter. And a pinch runner as well. Sophia Pulcini will run for Ryan. We've seen Pulcini a couple times. She came in to run for, or actually to hit for Rubidoux. She's at first base. And again, this is a case where, again, you can have your substitutes really spark you. You've got to be focused coming out of that dugout. Listen to the coaches. It's good coaching right there.
Running the first base is number 15, Maddie Ryan. Number 1, Sophia Pulcini.
That was some father to daughter coaching there with Ashley Cumbo and her dad Brett Cumbo.
She'll hit in the 7th spot in the order as a pinch hitter with Pulcini at first base. We know this means a lot for Dad, seeing her kid on the big stage here.
46-11.
Cave Creek, Arizona, north of Phoenix. A league that has really grown over the last few years in softball. Kundal representing the tying run. Low ball 1. There's a strike, fastball that time from Prather. Strike call. Prather had a big game in the shutout victory over Nevada, striking out 9 in 6 innings. Went the distance, allowed no runs, 2 hits, walked a couple. And there's strike 3. Paints the edge, 1 down.
That's a big out there from Hallie Prather, and coming back too from, trailing 1-0. and then getting a big strikeout. That was a big first out here in the bottom of the 5th. Another look at that pitch, the drop ball on the outside corner, and just catches the knees of Ashlyn Kundal.
Now Abby Bolander with a pinch hitting opportunity, left-handed stick, hitting in the 8th spot in the order.
Number 13, Abby Bolander.
And they've satisfied their mandatory play obligations here with this move. Lays the bunt down. Prather on to first in time. That does move Pulcini down to second base with 2 down.
Very composed play too from Hallie, just to take her time, didn't rush the throw over to first, and able to secure the out. Easily could have come in and rushed this and try to barehand it, but takes her time, throws to first, accurate throw, and secure the second out.
Courtney Zane, ball 1. She hit a soft liner into the glove of the first baseman first time up. Trying to turn this lineup over. There's Pulcini. Slow roller to short. Carino ends the inning. Prather rolling right along. Thinking about another complete game victory. We're through 5. Northern California and Arizona with the season on the line. We move into the 6th inning. 6 innings of Little League softball here at the West Region, and the winner will face Oregon tomorrow. Season on the line for Northern California. They're 3-1 at this regional. Arizona is 2-1. First matchup between these two. Our game following this one will be Southern California and Washington. They've already played once, and they'll have an elimination game upcoming. Savannah Gaston goes back to work, trying to keep this a 2-run game, as it will be Riley Gillespie leading things off, the 5th place hitter for Northern California. Fastball's in there.
Yeah, it's crucial for Arizona now to really limit the damage and just keep it a 2-run game. And this is a team that came from behind in their state tournament game. They've come from behind in a couple games here, so they know how to play from behind. You can keep it at a 2-run deficit. It doesn't seem all that daunting.
And it will be the top of the order as we look ahead to the bottom half of the inning for Arizona. Gillespie swings and misses. She falls behind 1-2. Well, the wind has really been whipping up here in our first of 2 elimination games today. Blowing from right to left and then blowing in.
It's amazing how many balls we've seen that have almost landed on the warning track today too.
Gillespie hits a flare out to right field. That's going to drop for a base hit. She's on board for the second time, her first hit. And the leadoff hitter aboard.
Now batting for Oliver Grisha.
Another look at this.
Alana Kelly.
Outfield playing a bit back on Riley Gillespie and respecting the power that she brings, but that ball dropping right in shallow right field.
Now they're up at the corners here, anticipating bunt from Alana Kelly. She's going to swing away. Kelly doubled her last time up there. You can see the stars and stripes. Wind blowing pretty strongly from right field to left field. Northern California looking for a little insurance here in the top half of the 6th. Big cut, swinging for the fences with that one. Get your money's worth.
And she's seen all the balls go out there and say, well, not me.
You want to cheat yourself up there. She did not with that swing. 0-2, driven into center. That'll drop for a base hit. Wynn holding that one up a little bit, and that's back-to-back singles to open up the top half.
Coming up for Northern California, first baseman, number 24.
Another ball that just kind of hangs up there with the wind, and Courtney Zane trying to track it, but everybody's safe, and now Northern California is in a good spot here with nobody out.
And it's Mia Cheever getting an opportunity at the plate here in the 6th inning. Back in at first base. And she has a big cut. That high fastball, so tough to lay off of from Gaston. That was your game. You probably didn't cheat yourself up there as a little leaguer.
No, I never bunted too. I always got yelled at for missing bunt signs. You're gonna make me bunt? Come on now.
It's fouled back. I was a guy that batted 9th in high school. Laid the bunt down, stole a base.
Speed. You were
played some good outfield. Yeah, yeah, it wasn't. I don't know if I was near the Mendoza line, but I wasn't the power hitter type.
I don't think I was either, but in my 12-year-old mind, I thought I was.
0-2, check swing. Did Cheever go? She did. There's out number 1. Second strikeout for Gaston.
There's another ball rising up into the zone. It's so tough, you said, trying to lay off it, and just looks so tempting.
Now Tiana Hernandez, who tripled back in that 2-run 3rd inning. That pops out of the glove of Ferruzza, and the runner's going to move up. And that's significant here. You've got Gillespie at 2nd, or at 3rd, and Kelly now at 2nd. The single could score a couple.
A tough one to handle, just kind of rose high and outside, and Zoe Ferruzza didn't really have much of a play on it.
Squaring to bunt, lays it down, it rolls. Fair. Throw down to 3rd, and back in there is Gillespie. Ferruzza waited on it, thinking it would roll over the chalk. It did not, and the bases are loaded.
That's a tough one. You're making the defense make a choice here. I don't know if it had any more roll in it, but it was almost stopped. That's a pitching wedge that just checks up on you.
Depending on what kind of pitching wedge you have.
Or how well you hit it, yeah.
So here's a big opportunity for a big inning, and already up a couple runs. A conference in the circle for this Arizona squad. You do have the forced play available here. They've already turned 1 double play. And the number 9 hitter, Ashlyn Wheeler, coming up. And again, this really puts the pressure on Ferruzza behind the dish here. Got to keep it in front of you. You mentioned 2 runs. That's one thing, erasing that deficit, but another run could really be damaging here in the top half of the 6th. Infield in. Wheeler, ground ball to 2nd, Fitzmaurice home, and they get the force play.
Heads up play.
Did not hesitate. 2 down.
That's a really good play there. Infield in, it was hit hard, staying down on it, and immediately knows where to go. And coaches always talk about being mentally prepared, knowing where you're going to go with the ball before it's hit. And Bailey had no question about it, knew she was coming home to it.
Ferruzzo kicking that leg away from the plate as she picks up the force at home, and now it's the top of the order, Morgan Hagstrom. Big cut, strike one. Hagstrom tripled, drove in a run in the third, 1 for 3. Even on the count. Gaston, Robidoux, and Day likely to hit in the bottom half of the inning, the top of the order for Arizona. Will they be trailing by 2 or more? Changeup way out in front of that one, fooling Hagstrom. 1-2.
Yeah, both Savannah and Haley Robidoux have really good changeups. It's something they've worked on throughout their Little League career as pitchers and continue to work on.
Gaston's 1-2. Strike called on the inside corner. She gets out of the jam. Nothing across for Northern California in the top half of the 6th inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Could be the last chance for Arizona in this elimination game, trailing by 2 runs.
Another look at that, right on the inside corner, and a huge, huge strikeout with the bases loaded for Savannah Gaston.
The Olivehurst Linda Little Leaguers trying to pull off a victory here over Arizona and move on to play tomorrow against Oregon. Little League Softball West Region play here in San Bernardino. Season on the line for these two. The first of 2 elimination games today. And Hallie Prather trying to get the complete game victory. She closed the door in a shutout, complete game win over Nevada. Can she do it here? It'll be the top of the order. Savannah Gaston to lead things off for Arizona. First pitch swinging, and she drives it into right center for a base hit.
That's how you want to start a comeback. That first batter is huge. You get her on, and now the tying run all of a sudden comes up to the plate.
Haley Robidoux had a single her first time up, and she swings the first pitch and drives it into center. Throw to second. They get the force play. Harris flipping it to the bag in time to cut down the lead runner, 1 away.
Yeah, that's a real heads-up play, not to give up on the ball because you see it's going to drop. It's going to be a base hit. But then for the center fielder, Kendall Harris, to come in and notice, hey, I got some time here. Accurate throw to first and in time.
8-6 on the put out. Big play. And here's Kira Day, who represents the tying run. They could have had the winning run coming to the plate there. Harris has done that throughout the regional. She has made big plays in every game for Northern California, as that's fouled off by Day. And the versatility of Harris. She'll do it defensively, lay the bunt down. She's shown the power game at the plate. Upstairs to Day. Day, a very dangerous hitter. Triple first time up. Producing their only run. Fouls that off.
Yeah, another point and another point in the game. You don't want to try and do too much as the batter, and wouldn't be surprised you see Hallie Prather try to throw a changeup in there with an aggressive batter in Kira Day.
Goes fastball just off the plate. Prather, big Oregon Ducks fan, wearing those colors here for Northern California. Misses with that one. Count runs full. Payoff pitch. Lined into the glove of the shortstop, the throw down to first. It's over. Carino to Cheever to end it. The second double play, they turn, and Northern California holds on for a 3-1 win.
Big defensive plays, a couple of double plays turned on line drives, and a couple of really big hits and no errors also on the board for Northern California, and a really good defensive effort put in by this team from Olivehurst. Another look here, line drive to short, heads up play, Alexa Carino finishes it off, and a win for Northern California.
We're going to hear from Dan Martin, the manager, when we come back. Northern California moves on. Northern California keeps their season going with a win over Arizona 3-1, a double play to end things.
Yeah, really impressive. Alexa Carino, heads up play, knows the runners a little bit off first base, tries to dive back, not in time. That wasn't the first time we saw that trade too. A really impressive performance defensively for this Northern California team.
The manager, Dan Martin, joining us now. Coach, congratulations first of all. I know Sam wants to ask you about your defense, but Hallie Prather going the distance again. She has great heart out there.
Oh, she has a heart of gold, and again, her work ethic, or the way it pays off for her. And the thing is, well, she wasn't feeling too well before the game started, and she just brings it. You know, she's a competitor at heart, and she knows she's got 11 girls behind her. And again, you couldn't ask for a better kid, you know, a better teammate. And I'm sure glad to have her in the circle, you know, when we're out start a game.
11 girls behind her, and nobody made an error today, and that's really important in these regional tournaments. Talk about the importance of your defense and how hard you guys have worked to get to that point in order to be so secure back there, especially up the middle with Alexa and Riley.
Yeah, the middle is the key. You know, we always say, you know, you start in the middle with your catcher, your pitcher, you know, your second, your short, and your center. You get it, and then you build a foundation, and then you work a way around it. And those two up the middle, you know, those aren't their natural positions that they play. They've just started playing those positions the last 6 months, and you see how far along they've come along. And again, we always preach defense. Defense is going to win. And sometimes the bats don't go. Sometimes the balls just get, you know, up in the air, and you don't score as many runs as you want to. But the defense will win you the games. So, and I couldn't be more proud of them.
And the kids have really responded to your coaching. You appear to be fundamentally sound. You do the little things well. That's I'm sure, something you take a lot of pride in.
Absolutely. Again, it's the hard work, and it goes back to them, because they're the ones that want to put in the work. They're the ones that want to be great, and they're the ones that want to do this. So, and again, when we started this season, it was about them and the loss in the last year of the state championship game, and they wanted to come back and do this, and look where they're at right now. We're in the semifinals of one of the best 4 teams in the Western region.
Dan, how about your community too? And back home, a lot of these players, it takes a lot to get here, whether it's parents, coaches, you guys, and everyone that supported you guys to get here. What does it mean to have that entire community behind you guys in this regional?
The community is, wow, that's all I can say about them. You know, all the way from the businesses that sponsored us, and the community back home, our district, all the leagues in our district. Again, we compete when we're there in the district, but when someone goes somewhere else, you know what, they're all supportive. So, and you couldn't be more proud of them, all the businesses, all the people that are watching back home. Thank you guys so much for the support for these girls, and I hope they're making you proud, because I know they're really making me proud right now.
Congrats, Coach. Go enjoy this one.
I will. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
Dan Martin, the manager for the Olivehurst Linda Little Leaguers. Stay with us. Little League Softball West Region play continues on ESPN+. Southern California and Washington in our next elimination game. We'll be with you all week on the road to the Little League Softball World Series in Portland, Oregon. The championship game Friday here at Al Houghton Stadium. More to come. One game in the books as Northern California advances. Congratulations to Arizona, the kids from Cave Creek. A tremendous season as state champs. We're back with more from Al Houghton Stadium coming up.